Oh, good morning, everyone. Let's start with the last topic in immunology and hematology paper. The topic is blood component therapy. Okay, so you know that what are the different types of blood components. The blood component can be separated by a method known as the apheresis technique. Okay, so the blood, what are the different types of blood component? The blood has a fluid part which is called as the plasma, and it also has the cellular part. What are the different types of cells which are there in the blood? It has RBC, WBC and platelet. Okay, all these components can be separated into individual component by a technique known as the apheresis technique. Apheresis is a mechanical method. By using an instrument you can separate the blood into individual component, and depends on the need, whichever component is required, that can be transfused into the patient. Fine. So what is the advantage of blood component therapy? So when you say blood component therapy, meaning sometimes when you go for a blood transfusion, if any incompatibility is there in the MHC which is present on the WBC, there can be various consequences. Major consequences can be seen in the patient because MHC incompatibility will lead to major issues. So that can be overcome. If a person has that such incompatibility issues, we can separate all the WBCs and transfuse them into the blood. Some of the individual will have some of the reaction to the RBC antigen, and you know that there are more than 20 different types of RBC antigens are there. What are RBC antigen? The proteins which are present on the surface of the RBC or on the plasma membrane of the RBC. There are different types of antigens such as ABO, RH, MNS, XG, Duffy antigens. All these different types of antigens we have seen already. So sometimes people will be allergic to some of this RBC antigen. That also can be overcome by separating the RBC. And if the individual is in need of platelet or WBC, you separate the RBC. Don't transfuse RBC into the individual. Transfuse only the platelet. Fine. So this is possible by doing a process called as the apheresis, or you can go for the normal centrifugation. Apheresis is nothing but the centrifugation only, but it is a automated instrument. When you pass the blood through that apheresis instrument, that is automated in such a way that all the components will be separated into individual components. Fine. Now, when you do this, or else if apheresis is not there, apheresis facility if it is not there, manual centrifugation can be done to separate the blood components. Fine. The manual separation thing meaning the centrifugation itself. In apheresis also it is centrifugation, but it is an automated one. Manual centrifugation, you can centrifuge at high speed and then followed by a low speed centrifugation. Thereby you can separate the blood components. So what are the different types of blood cells? WBC, RBC, platelet, and it has a fluid part which is called as the plasma. Okay, now this particular therapy, the blood component therapy is known as the blood component transfusion therapy. Okay, so transfusion therapy, that is the transfusion therapy in general. If you say it is the transfusion of the blood, but to overcome the side effects of the other cellular components which are there in the blood, we can go for the blood component therapy. So this was developed and accepted after getting to know the fact about the separation of this individual component. Say for example, if an individual is, if this particular donor is giving the blood, and you can pass the blood through the apheresis, and you are separating the cellular part of the blood, that is red cell, WBC and the platelet, and you can remove whichever is required, that you can retain. The other things can be transfused back into the patient. Thereby the patients will not be suffering. And say for example, in the case of this COVID-19 infection also, you must have heard about the plasma therapy. The recovered individuals, they will have antibodies against the COVID-19 virus, or the COVID-19 virus antibodies will be there in the plasma of the recovered patient. So you can separate the plasma from the recovered patient which will be having antibody. If that plasma, if you introduce into the patient, those antibodies will try to neutralize the antigens, or the COVID-19 virus which is there in the body will be neutralized by the antibodies which are there in the plasma of the donor. So in that case, the donor will be admitted in the hospital. It takes some 4 to 5 hours of time period because it's a very slow process. The volunteer donors will be admitted in the hospital, and they take the blood and pass it through the apheresis instrument. what you need now, you need only the plasma, you don't want the cellular part. So once after taking the blood, the plasma will be separated out. That plasma, after the necessary quality control testing, it will be introduced into the COVID-19 patient or any patient who needs this plasma. And the other part, what is the other part? The cellular components such as RBC, WBC, platelets, that will be transfused back into the patient. But here the only thing that you have to remember is you have removed the fluid part of the blood. So there is a need to transfuse, there is a need to introduce saline into those donors. So if you are removing plasma from the blood, there is a need to introduce saline into the patient. Clear? So that is a very important thing to remember. So once the donor is ready, while selecting the donor, like blood transfusion only, you have to be very careful. Donor should be healthy. He or she should not be having any other infection. And before giving the blood, they have to do some of the process like all the testing. They should have a healthy breakfast so that the fainting and other consequences of the blood donation can be overcome. And once after doing all these necessary tests and now the interview kind of thing with the doctor, they will be admitted in the hospital, or they will be made to lie in the hospital, lie down in the hospital. Thereby, they can take the blood and pass the blood through the apheresis instrument. So, selecting a donor is very, very important. So, criteria number 1 is selection of a healthy donor, and the blood donation and apheresis technique directly, if they are doing, it will take some time. Sometimes in the blood bank itself, after collecting the blood, within 6 to 8 hours of time period, they do the plasmapheresis technique. So this is the whole blood. If directly the patient is admitted and doing, they will not be collecting it into the pouch. Directly the blood will be transferred into the apheresis instrument, which will separate the blood into individual component, such as RC. What is RC? Red cell concentrate. Second one is PC. PC stands for platelet concentrate, and WC stands for WBC concentrate. Now, the fluid part of the blood is known as the plasma, that can be stored for a longer time also. Okay, fresh plasma, and 2 things are available. One is fresh plasma. As soon as you collect the blood and prepare the plasma, it is called as the fresh plasma. Or you can preserve it for a longer time. If you are preserving and keeping it for a longer time, it is called as FFP. FFP stands for fresh frozen plasma. How will you maintain this fresh frozen plasma after collecting the fresh plasma? You have to keep it at -25 degrees centigrade. You can keep it for 36 months. Red cell concentrate can be kept in the refrigerator, that is at 4 degrees centigrade for 42 days. Platelet concentrate and WC, that is WBC concentrate, you can store it at 22 degrees centigrade for 2 weeks of time period. So whenever patients are coming to the hospital, you can transfuse the blood component into the patient. This is the case of apheresis. Second one is your manual centrifugation, wherein the whole blood will be collected and it will be kept. It will be sent for the high-speed centrifugation, wherein RBC and the plasma will be separated. In between the plasma and the RBC, there will be a buffy cord. Buffy cord will have WBC and the platelet. Again, the upper layer will be sent for the centrifugation, the low-speed centrifugation, wherein if any platelets are there or WBCs are there in this particular layer, that will be separated. So buffy cord, it has platelet and RBC, and even the in the third tube, the pellet will have the platelets and WBC that can be used for treating various diseases. So the plasma which is here, that will be stored directly. If you are using, it is called as FP or fresh plasma. If it is stored at a frozen temperature, it is called as the fresh frozen plasma. Fine. Now, platelet rich plasma. So before the plasma which is rich in platelet, that means after centrifugation you have to take the upper layer along with the buffy cord, which will have the platelet. Platelet rich plasma, it's used very widely these days for treating various diseases. Like whenever some injuries are there, or people with hair loss, they will be going for the PRP, that is platelet rich plasma therapy. This is used for hair loss, tendon injuries, and surgical, post-surgical repair, and osteoarthritis. So those who have hair loss, in the cosmetic labs and all, what they do, they analyze the problem and they will find out the solution, if that can be cured by injecting this PRP, platelet rich plasma, directly wherever the hair growth is required. There they will inject this platelet rich plasma. Fine. So now some of you will be smiling that okay, there is a cure for your hair loss, so you can try. But it is a very very costly affair. So once after getting a very good job after MSc Applied Genetics, when you start earning, you can go for the platelet rich plasma therapy. Second one is known as tendon injuries. What are tendons? Tendons are band-like structures which will connect the muscle to the bone. Whenever some injuries are there, sometimes the tendon will be injured. So tendon repairing is very very difficult process. It takes long time period. You can cure this one by injecting the platelet rich plasma to the region wherever the injury is there. Say for example, if this particular region has a tendon injury, they will do all the scanning process, identify where exactly the problem is there. Directly it will be injected there. Fine. And this platelet rich plasma is also used for treating some of the fertility issues. Okay, so from the healthy donors they will take the blood, and then they will do the processing, and then the platelet rich plasma, which will be having the growth factor, different types of growth factor, that will be injected into the female who is having the fertility issues. And this is also a very good method, it seems. I mean, it's like many researches are going on and they say that it is a like a successful method. It is used for post-surgical repair. In some people after the surgery, the healing of the wound takes long time. That can be cured by injecting platelet rich plasma into that area. The growth factors which are there in that particular platelet rich plasma will enhance the healing process. And in the case of osteoarthritis also, you can give the PRP injection. So wherever the arthritis pain is there, directly in that area they will inject it. Right? Now WBC, as I told you, there are plasmapheresis. The apheresis is a separation of all the components of the blood. Apheresis you can divide into 4 different types. What are the 4 different types? One is plasmapheresis. What do you mean by plasmapheresis? Separation of plasma. Erythrocytopheresis is the separation of erythrocyte. Platelet pheresis is a separation of platelet. And leukapheresis is a separation of leukocyte. So these are the 4 different types of apheresis. Depends on the need, you can go for whichever platelet, whichever separation you need. So say for example, donor is admitted in hospital, and if you are looking for only erythrocyte, separate the erythrocyte by doing the automation in the apheresis instrument, and resend, transfuse back the blood which is having the plasma, platelet and leukocyte back into the donor itself, because you need only erythrocyte. Or if you need only the platelet, separate the platelet and all the other components can be transfused back. As I told you, remember that when you do the transfusion or the removal of the plasma, once after the removal, the patient need to be given saline to maintain the fluid level. Okay, so the criteria, WBC is used for treating the patient who has less number of WBC, especially the granulocyte number, and those who are immune system is very low. Lymphocyte count will be very low in people. When they have infection, you can go for the WBC infection. So lymphocyte will activate their immune system. RBC transfusion will be done for anemia and any other any other RBC related issues are there. In those patients, RBC can be transfused. Platelet transfusion is done for thrombocytopenia, that is less number of thrombocyte. And in the case of infection, you must have heard about the dengue fever. Whenever people infect with dengue fever, their platelet count will be drastically reducing. In them also there is a need for platelet transfusion. No need of entire blood transfusion, they can go for the platelet transfusion. The criteria of what they need to do during this blood component therapy is, number 1, the donor should be healthy. Okay, the selection of the donor is very very important. While selecting the donor, they should be very healthy. Okay, they should not have any other health issues. They should have a proper food before giving the blood, and they should be willing to go for all the tests which will be conducted before the blood donation. And always it's better if you are taking a volunteer donor. You cannot force anybody to give the blood. Okay, and taking money while giving the blood or for giving the blood, that is also a very bad thing. Okay, so that's that also you should avoid. So you have to select a healthy volunteer as the donor. And once after collecting the blood, if directly the apheresis, if you are not doing, the blood bank, they will collect the blood and then the blood will be sent for the apheresis technique, wherein they separate the individual component and store it in the bank, blood bank. If that is the case, it should be processed within 6 to 8 hours. Okay, and while taking the blood, proper mixing it is necessary. That's why I told you that last class also, in the blood bank, when they collect the blood, it will be kept on a rocker kind of thing, so that the bag will be moving continuously, so that the 63 ml of CPDA, what is CPDA? Citrate phosphate dextroadenine anticoagulant, that will be mixed with blood properly. So mixing while collecting is very important, and if the patient is under medication, especially aspirin, if they are taking, they should stop taking aspirin for 48 hours of time period. After collecting this, collecting the blood and separating individual component, the quality control people, they will check the quality of the blood cellular component and the plasma, and once after that it will be stored and transfused into the patients. And the testing which will be done after collecting, after separation is, in the case of if it is RBC, the blood typing will be done to avoid any complications associated with the transfusion, and also they will check for the transmissible diseases. So transmissible diseases in the sense HIV, hepatitis B virus infection, and all those things can be checked by taking the blood for the TTD test, transmissible disease test. Now in the case of plasma, the apheresis technique, the separator will spin the blood at a rapid speed to separate the blood cells from the plasma. Okay, the blood will be passed through a membrane with pores. So when in the case of plasma separation, the blood, once after the they do the centrifugation, okay, and rapid speed centrifugation to separate the plasma, or the blood will be passed through membrane. Okay, membrane with very minute pores, which will allow which will not allow the RBCs to pass through. Only the fluid part will pass through the membrane, and that plasma can be used for treatment, or it can be stored and used for treating, which will be called as the fresh frozen plasma. The other cellular part that will be put back into the body. The plasma which is removed, that will be replaced with saline and albumin combination. Just not just saline albumin combination will be given into the patient. So what are things you need to remember into the blood component therapy? What are the different components of the blood? What we have discussed long back under the chapter blood, that you need to write in a paragraph, and then that is followed by make this diagram and write about the apheresis technique and leukoreduce. There the separation happens, and the normal centrifugation process for the separation. Then you have to talk about the PRP, because it's a very recent treatment for various diseases such as hair loss, tendon injury, post-surgical repair, and osteoarthritis. You have to talk about the blood component WBC, importance of it, RBC's importance, platelet importance, and what are the 4 different types of apheresis technique: plasmapheresis, erythrocytopheresis, platelet pheresis, and leukapheresis. And then you have to talk about the criteria. What are the criteria? Donor should be healthy, should be processed in 6 to 8 hours. Mixing is required while collecting. The donor should not be taking aspirin for 48 hours of time period, and quality control. And the blood will be tested for any transmissible diseases. Okay, so that's all. Most of the topics, all the topic in immunology, it is completed. Please go through. I told you to go through the syllabus and check it. Nobody has done it, I think. Please go through and let me know. If you want me to teach any of the topic, I will be ready to teach. Please go through, whoever it is. It's not like the entire class need one more thing. If anybody needs me to, if anybody want me to teach it again, I can do it. Okay, so please go through today itself. Please go through the syllabus and check it, and find out whether all the topics are done. If any topics are left, I will teach you again. Okay, thank you so much and all the best.